अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहा दावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुधिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृता स्वादनम् सर्वात्मस्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनम्। नमः कमलनाभाय नमः कमलमालिने नमः कमलपादाय नमस्ते कमलेक्षण यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तद्घ्वं देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। The dearest spiritual aspirants, the seekers of true divine happiness, eternal bliss, dearest devotees of the Lord, the divine souls. First, let me say Radhe Radhe to each and every one, and my pranam, my humblest prostrations to each and every one of you here today. As customary, we'll begin by chanting the name of God in order to bring our mind in focus and to receive the blessing of the Supreme Lord. We will chant His divine names for a few minutes, following which we will listen to today's discourse as a continuation from the last 2 days. भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो गिरिधर गोविंद Gopala bhajo Bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala Bhajo
Giridhar Govind Gopala
Bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala Bhajo
Giridhar Govind Gopala
Bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala Bhajo O bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala Bhajo
Giridhar Govind Gopala
O bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala Bhajo
Giridhar Govind Gopala
Bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala Bhajo O bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala Bhajo
Giridhar Govind Gopala
Bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala Bhajo
Giridhar Govind Gopala
O bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala Bhajo O bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala Bhajo
Giridhar Govind Gopala
O bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala Bhajo
Giridhar Govind Gopala
Bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala Bhajo O bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala Bhajo
Giridhar Govind Gopala
O bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala
Bhajo Giridhar Govind
O bhajo giridhar Govind Gopala bhajo O bhajo giridhar Govind Gopala bhajo
Govind Gopala.
Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Let us all try to be very attentive and listen carefully. Let me first give a brief recap of what we have heard so far. So those who have been attending will remember what we spoke about. And if there's someone who's just for the first time attending the program, they will understand also. Today is the third day of this program, this series of talk and the search for true happiness. I mentioned in order for us to understand where we're going to find true happiness in that search, it was important for us to first understand who we are. We identify with the physical body. In other words, we don't know who we are. This body belongs to us. And whatever belongs to us cannot be us. And I gave an example. Just as someone says, this is my house, this is my motor car, my house, my motor car. But no one ever says, I am the house, I am the motor car. In the same way, my body. My head is hurting me, my body is paining. So this body belongs to me, my body. So just as we will never say, I am the house, I am the motor car. In the same way, I am not the body. Then what am I? I am the soul, Atma, Jivatma, Jeev, many names. The word Jeev in Sanskrit has two meanings. Jeev, that which is conscious, alive, Jeev. And the second meaning, that which gives consciousness to whatever it goes into. So when the soul comes in this body, the body appears to be conscious. This body is inert, non-conscious. Jar. No life. For example, this cover is non-conscious. It has no life. But if I shake it like this, it is shaken. But can it shake by itself? No. The hand is given the power for it to shake. If I were to minus the power of the hand, again it becomes non-conscious, inert. So, in the same way, when the soul comes in the body, it appears to be conscious. The eyes can see, the air can hear, the nose can smell, the tongue can taste, we can speak, the skin can feel, can touch, etc. But when the soul leaves the body, that which is given consciousness, when it leaves the body, we say someone has died. What happens? The eyes are still there, the air is still there, the nose is still there, the tongue, the skin, feet, hand, everything is there. But can the eyes see? Can the air hear? The nose smell, etc.? No. Because that which was given consciousness, the jeev, the soul, it has left. So, that's who we are, the soul, Atma, the jeev. And this body belongs to us. We heard, according to Hindu philosophy, there are 8.4 million forms of life in the world. And this human body has been told to be the most superior, the most difficult to attain, and the most superior. Why? So one reason was given, in the 8.4 million forms of life, only in the human body there is the power of Gyan, knowledge. God has given us knowledge in abundance, which is absent in the other creatures, or very small. This power to discriminate from right from wrong, real from unreal, etc., is the mighty power of discrimination given only to human beings and not the other creatures. All the other creatures, whether they're animals, birds, insects, etc., they act on instinct. The power of discrimination is very small. So that was one of the reasons. But then we heard that there's a place called heaven, Swarg. And those who reside there, they are called Devatas, celestial beings. And their knowledge is far, far superior to ours. Yet they also are desiring birth in this human body. So if human body is told to be superior because of knowledge, and the Devatas, the celestial beings, their knowledge is far superior to ours, then why do they want to get birth in the human form? And the reason we were told last night, because only in the human body we can do something called Purusharth. Meaning, only in the human body the actions we perform bears fruits, good or bad. All other forms of life, whether they're animals, birds, insects, even celestial beings, they are called Bhog Yoni. They are only enjoying the fruits of their past action. Their actions do not bear fruits. Only in the human form. So in order to attain true happiness, eternal happiness, and we'll find out later it means God realization, two things are necessary, compulsory. One is Gyan, knowledge, which human beings have and celestial beings also have. But the second thing is Purusharth, fruit-bearing action, which only human beings have. So two things necessary. Knowledge, Gyan, plus Purusharth, fruit-bearing action. Devatas have knowledge far superior to ours, but they do not have Purusharth. So it's so valuable. That's why this human body, this human birth is so valuable. Now, the question came, why should we want to know God? And what does that have to do with attaining true happiness? A person may have to ask the question, why should I get myself involved in all this God realization stuff? Who is the God? What is the God? And why is it so important to know God? And what does it have to do with our wanting happiness? This question came. And that we're going to answer today. So why do we want only happiness? I told in the very first day, every action we perform in the world is for one thing only. No matter how contradictory and opposite the actions may seem to be, it is only for one thing, that is happiness. Somebody wants to be a billionaire, lots of money. Why? So that I'll be able to get all the luxuries in the world. I'll be able to live a luxurious life. Why do you want to live a luxurious life? So I'll get peace, happiness. Somebody wants to be a doctor, an engineer, a scientist. Why do you want to be a scientist, an engineer, a doctor, get a good job? To serve others? Is this why you're working so hard? No. If I get a good job, I'll be able to earn lots of money. Why do you want to earn lots of money? So I'll be able to live a life of luxury. Why do you want to live a luxurious life? So I'll get happiness, peace. Every action. So why do we want only happiness? This question comes. The answer is very simple. Because we, the soul Atma, the Jeev, we are fractions or parts of God. The Vedas say, Chinmatram Shri Hariransham Suksham Aksharam Avyam Krishna Dhinamite Prahur Jivam Jnana Gunashrayam. Ved. The highest authority in Sanatan, in Hinduism, are the Vedas. The Vedas are saying, the Jivatma, the individual soul who we are, it's a part, ansh, a fraction of God. One of the most important scripture in Hinduism is called Bhagavad Mahapuran. This is the translation of Vedas. The Bhagavad says, Har deha bhritamatma swayam prakritirishwaraha tat paramulam ksharanam yatakshemo ninamiha. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 4th canto, 29th chapter, 50th verse. Being the soul of all souls, God is the source of our love. It's our fundamental nature to love Him. Let me give you an example. This body we have, material body, is made of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. What is the duty of this body? To serve us. The body serves us, the soul, Atma. It wants to give happiness to us. Because of ignorance, it is looking in the wrong place. But the body, the soul, is the master of the body. The soul, who we are, is the master of the body. And the body is the servant. So the nature of the body is to serve the soul Atma. In the same way, our soul Atma is the body of God, Shri Krishna. So just as this body serves us, the soul, in the same way, our soul being the body of God, Our nature is to serve God, to love God. A great saint, God himself descended a few hundred years ago, was known as Gaurang Mahaprabhu. He says, Jivera Shwarupa Hoy Krishnera Nitya Das. The Jivatma, the individual soul, by nature, we are eternal servants of God, Shri Krishna. So it's our fundamental nature to love Him. Again the Bhagavad says, Harir hi sakshad Bhagavan charirina Matma jhashana mivato yamipsitam. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 5th canto, 18th chapter, 13th verse. This verse in Bhagavad Mahapuran is saying, just like when a fish, that thing that lives in the sea, in the river, fish, just like when a fish is caught in the fisherman's net and brought on dry land, the fish flaps and beats itself and desperately struggles to return to water, its natural abode. In the same way, the Jivatma, the individual soul, being an eternal fraction of God, feels restless without Him. This feeling of restlessness, fretfulness, disquietude will stay with us until we realize God and go to His divine abode, which is our eternal home. Many quotations in Bhagavad Mahapuran. Again it says, Krishna me namame hitva matmanam akhilatmanam jagadhitaya sopyatra dehiva bhati mayaya. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 10th canto, 14th chapter, 55th verse. God, Shri Krishna, is the soul of all souls. Shri Krishna himself establishes this fact in Bhagavad Gita, in the Gita. God, Shri Krishna says, Mamaivansho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. Chapter 15 verse 7 Gita. God is saying, the individual souls, the jivas, the eternal part, fractions of me, God. So, many places. Okay, so we are part, we are fraction of God. But what does it have to do with our wanting happiness? And why should we want to know God? Well, the answer is very simple. Supposing I were to hold, let's suppose this is a piece of dirt, clump of earth. This is also made from earth. If I hold this in my hand and I let it go, what happens? It falls to the earth, being a fraction of the earth. In the same way, we, the individual souls, being fractions of God, naturally love and want only God. Okay, if we are fractions of God, our whole, then why are we separate from Him? That question comes. Well, from the example I just gave you, as long as I continue to hold this piece of dirt, earth in my hand, it will never fall to the ground. As long as I keep holding it. But the moment I let it go, immediately it falls to the earth. In the same way, as long as this material world continues to attract us, as long as the world continues to have a hold on us, we will never be able to move towards our whole, that is God. If, however, somehow this attraction that the world has for us can be broken, if somehow we can become detached from the world, immediately we will start moving towards our whole, which is God, which we say Shri Krishna. So it is natural for every part, every fraction, to have a natural love for the whole and want to become one with it. All rivers naturally flow to the ocean, being a fraction of the ocean. If we look at the flame of a fire, well, we don't have any lighting right now, but normally, if you look at the flame of a fire, how does the flame go? It goes upwards. Why? Because it's a fraction of the sun. In the same way, we, the individual souls, the Jivatma, being eternal parts, fraction of God, Shri Krishna, it's our nature to love and want only God, Shri Krishna. Yam sarve deva namanti mumukshavo brahmavadinascha. Ved. The Vedas are in total agreement. The Vedas are saying every soul naturally loves and wants only God. There was a great saint by the name of Valmiki. Valmiki ji says, Loke nahi savedyeta yo nara mamanubrataha. Valmiki Ramayana. It is impossible, he's saying, to find an individual soul that does not truly love and want only God. Now, this sounds very strange, because we know there are some people who love God, believe in God, and there are a lot of people who don't believe in God. They're atheists, non-believers. They will even try to stop others from believing in God. So how could a great saint make such a statement that everyone naturally loves God and want only God? Is he lying to us? No. We'll find out what he means and the truth of this. The Ramayana also, there's another saint known as Tulsidas. He says, Asako jeev jantu jagmahi jehi raghunath pran priyanahi. In this verse from the Ramayana, the saint Tulsidas is saying, here he mentions both the animate as well as inanimate beings. And he says that to all of them, God is as dear as life. But, okay, we are a fraction of God, and it's our nature to love Him. But it doesn't answer our question why we want only happiness and why we should want to know God. Okay, to find the answer, we have to go to the ultimate authority. And that is the Vedas. We go to the Vedas. And the most important section of the Vedas is known as Upanishad. One of the most important Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad. We go to the 3rd chapter of Taittiriya Upanishad. And a beautiful incident is narrated. Bhrigurave varunihi varunam pitaram upasasara. Taittiriya Upanishad. Chapter 3, verse 1. The Taittiriya Upanishad is saying, once there was a rishi by the name of Bhrigu. Before he became a great rishi, the question came in his mind, who is God? What is God? What is that entity that we call God, Bhagavan, Shri Krishna, supreme power? Now, Bhrigu was the son of someone by the name of Varun. Varun was a Brahmagyani, a knower of God. He had attained knowledge of God. So Bhrigu thought, since my father is worthy of being Guru, I should make him my guru. So, he went to his father and he made him his guru, his spiritual master. And then he said, Adhihi Bhagavo Brahmeti. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 3, verse 1. O Guruji, O my spiritual master, please tell me, who is God? What is God? What is that entity who is known as supreme power? Bhagavan, God, Krishna, Jehovah, Allah, Khuda, many names. Please tell me. So Varun, now Guruji answers and he says, Yato vaimani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayantya bhisambhishanti tad vijigyasasva tad brahmeti. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 3, verse 1. Varun, the Guru, says, my son Bhrigu, my disciple, listen. That from which all beings are born, that by which they are sustained, and that into which they merge upon death, that is God. Supreme power. That from which, that by which, and that into which. Do you understand, Bhrigu? Bhrigu was totally confused. So Guru said, okay, don't worry. Sa tapo tapyata sa tapas taptva. Go and do sadhana. Go and do devotion, spiritual exercise. I will help you, but go and research. Do spiritual sadhana, spiritual practices, and try to find out who is God. So Bhrigu, by the instructions of the Guru, went and did intense sadhana, spiritual exercise, for a long time. And then he came to the conclusion that an in Sanskrit means food, grain, is the ultimate reality known as Brahm, God. The answer sounds very funny. But this is the research that Bhrigu had done. Annam brahmeti vajanat, annadheva kalvimani bhutani jayante, annena jatani jivanti, annam prayantya bhisambhishanti. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 3, verse 2. From grain alone, food alone, the entire universe comes into being. Grain, food, is that by which we are sustained. And grain is that into which we ultimately merge, become one with. To make the answer clearer, when we eat grain, food, what happens? The food converts into juice. Juice into blood. Blood into flesh. Flesh into muscle. Muscle into bone. Bone into marrow. And marrow into semen, which is ultimately responsible for birth. Having been born from the grain, the food, we survive by eating that grain, that food. And ultimately, we become one with the earth that produces the grain. So that from which, that by which, and that into which. The trick question was understood. So he went to his father. Tad vigyaya punare varunam pitaram upasasara. Oh Guruji, I have the answer. Oh, yes, God is grain, food. But when he said that, the Guru remained silent. Meaning you are wrong. I am wrong? Then what is correct? Tapasa brahma vijigya sasva tapo brahmeti satapo tapyata. Go and do more sadhana. Do more spiritual discipline. So, Bhrigu continued his devotional practices, and this time he discovered Prano Brahmeti Vajanat Prana Deva Kalvimani Bhutani Jayante pranena jatani jivanti, pranam prayantya bhisambhishanti. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 3, verse 3. The word pran means the life force. The life force in the body. From the life force, we are born. The whole world comes into being. By the life force, we are sustained, and the life force is that into which we ultimately become one. The life force is God. We all have to breathe. If we don't breathe, we will die. So he went to his father. Tad vigyaya punareva varunam pitaram upasasara. And he said, Guruji, Pran, the life force, is the ultimate reality known as Brahm, God. But again, Guru said, no, you're wrong. Then, tapasa brahma vijigyasasva tapo brahmeti satapo tapyata. Go and do more sadhana, more spiritual exercise. So Bhrigu continued his austerities, his spiritual practices, and eventually he discovered, what did he discover this time? Mano brahmeti vajanat, manaso yeva khalvimani bhutani jayante, manasa jatani jivanti, mana prayantya bhisambhishanti. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 3, verse 4. The word man means the mind. The mind, that which we think with. He said, mind, the mind is the ultimate reality known as God, Brahm. The mind alone, the whole universe comes into being by the mind. The mind is that by which we are sustained, and the mind is that into which we merge upon death. So he went to the Guru and said, Guruji, the mind is God. But Guru said, no, you're wrong. So far, Bhrigu's research had been only on inanimate objects, non-conscious, food, the life force, the mind. So the Guru said, no, you're wrong. Sa tapo tapyata sa tapas taptva. Go and do more spiritual exercise, more austerities, more devotion. So Bhrigu continued. And this time he discovered Vijnanam Brahmeti Vijanat Vijnanat Deva Khalvimani Bhutani Jayante Vijnanina Jatani Jivanti Vijnanam Brahmeti Vijana Vijnanam. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 3, verse 5. The word Vijnan here means the soul, the Atma. Bhrigu came to the conclusion that the soul, the Atma, is God. The soul is that by which we come into existence. The soul is that by which we are sustained. And the soul is that into which we merge upon death. There are some schools of Buddhism that adopt this view. So he went to his father, to the Guru, and said, Guruji, the soul is the ultimate reality known as Brahm. But again the Guru said, no, you're wrong. Then, tapasa brahma vijigyasasva tapo brahmeti satapo tapyata. Go and do more sadhana, more devotional practice. So Bhrigu continued, and this time he came to the conclusion, Anando Brahmeti Vajanat Ananda Deva Kalvimani Bhutani Jayante Anandena Jatani Jivanti Anandam Brahmeti Vajanat Anandat Brahm. He came to the conclusion, Anand. The word Anand in Sanskrit means bliss, happiness. Anand, bliss, happiness is the ultimate reality known as God. From bliss alone, the entire universe comes into being. Bliss is that by which we are sustained, and bliss is that into which we merge upon death. The moment Bhrigu said this, the Guru smiled. Yes, now you understand. Bhrigu, God is bliss, happiness. So what did Bhrigu discover? Bhrigu discovered that God is Anand, bliss, happiness. Whether we say bliss, happiness, or we say God, these are two names for the one and same entity. We'll continue. Let us chant a little bit, and then we'll continue from there. Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Bolo Radhe, Radhe,
Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Bolo Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Bolo Radhe,
Radhe, Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Radhe,
Radhe, Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Bolo Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Bolo Radhe,
Radhe, Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Bolo Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Bolo Radhe, Radhe,
Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Bolo Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Bolo Radhe, Radhe,
Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Bolo Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Bolo Radhe,
Radhe, Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Bolo Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Bolo Radhe,
Radhe, Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Bolo Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Bolo Radhe, Radhe,
Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Bolo Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Bolo Radhe, Radhe,
Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Radhe,
Radhe, Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Bolo Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Bolo Radhe,
Radhe, Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Bolo Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Bolo Radhe, Radhe,
Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
O Bolo Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Bolo Radhe, Radhe,
Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
O Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Radhe,
Radhe, Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
O Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Radhe,
Radhe, Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Bolo Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Bolo Radhe,
Radhe, Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Bolo Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe.
Radhe, 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
O Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Radhe, Radhe,
Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. Radhe,
Radhe, Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Bolo Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Bolo Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
O Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
O Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
O Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
O Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
O Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
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 O Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
O Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
O Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
O Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
O Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
O Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Bolo Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe.
Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai.
Jai.
Okay, so in the research, Bhrigu, he discovered through the grace of the Guru, the spiritual master, that God is Anand, bliss, happiness. So whether we say happiness, bliss, or we say God, Brahma, God, these are two names for one and the same entity. Look, in the Hindu scriptures, God is known by three names. Three names. Sat, Chit, Anand. So God is also known as Sachidanand. We also hear in the scriptures God being called Chidanand or just Anand. But nowhere is God called just Sat or just Chit. So what is the science of this Sat, Chit, Anand in this order and not Sat, Anand, Chit or Chit, Sat, Anand or Chit, Anand, Sat, etc.? Why in the order Sat, Chit, Anand? First, there is Sat or supreme existence. The meaning of the word Sat, supreme existence. Then comes the word Chit, which means supreme knowledge. And then comes the word Anand, which means supreme bliss, supreme happiness. Sat merges into Chit, So Chit contains both existence as well as knowledge, and Sat and Chit merges into Anand. So Anand contains all three of existence, knowledge, as well as bliss. Hence, God is also called Chidanand. Chidanandamaya deha tumhari bigata bikar jani adhikari. Here God has been called Chidanand. So Sat has been left out because it is understood to be included in Chit. In the same way, Sat and Chit are also understood to be included in Anand. This is why the Vedas are saying Anando Brahmeti. So only one has remained. What is that? Ananda Brahm. What I'm trying to say is that God is Anand, bliss, happiness, and Anand, bliss, happiness is God. Some people say that there is bliss in God or God is filled with bliss. This is wrong. So what is correct? God is bliss, happiness, and happiness is God. This is not what I am saying. This is what the Vedas are saying. Raso vai sahara sagvam hevayam labdho nandi bhavati. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 2, verse 7. The Vedas are saying God is ras, bliss, happiness. Raso vai saha. He is bliss, he is happiness. If there was happiness in God, the Ved month would say, Raso vai tasmin. There was bliss in God. But it's not saying that. It's saying, Raso vai saha. Look, to say there is bliss in God is like saying there is water in the ocean. The word ocean means an abundance of water. So when we say there is water in the ocean, we are saying there's water in the abundance of water. To make simple people understand, we may say there is water in the ocean. In the same way, to make simple people understand, we may say there is bliss in God. But it's not the fact. The fact is, God is bliss, He is happiness, and happiness is God. The Vedas say, Ananda eva dhastat, Ananda uparishtat, Ananda purastat, Ananda paschat, Ananda uttartah, Anando dakshinatah, Ananda eve dhagvam sarvam, Chandogya Upanishad. There is bliss and bliss alone about Him, above Him, below Him, to His east, to His west, to His north, to His south, above Him, below Him, all around Him. That ocean of bliss is known as God. So what can we conclude now? Remember, it's a natural law that every part, every fraction has a natural love for the whole and wants to become one with it. Just like all rivers naturally flow to the ocean, being a fraction of the ocean, all flames of fire naturally rises upward, being a fraction of the sun. So in the same way, we the individual souls, being eternal fractions of God, Shri Krishna, naturally love and want only God. And because God is happiness, this is why we all want only happiness. It's our nature. We can't help it. It's impossible for anyone to want pain and suffering as opposed to happiness. The moment we get a little pain, please give me a Tylenol. Please give me an Advil. It's not our nature to want pain and suffering. Being a fraction of happiness is our nature to want happiness. Everyone wants happiness, whether we believe in God or we don't believe in God. The person who doesn't believe in God, the atheist, you ask him, do you believe in God? No. There is nothing called God. Okay. Do you want happiness or pain, suffering? Oh, I want happiness. Then you want God. Don't call him God, call him happiness. He has uncountable names. One of them is happiness. So whether we believe in God or not, we all want happiness. It means we all want only God. We don't understand, that's all. Now, there are some people who claim that they have found happiness in the world. A girl says, the day I got married was the happiest day of my life. I was so happy, I just cried and I cried and I cried. And after the marriage, I kept crying. A person says, the day I got my job was the happiest day of my life. I was dreaming and planning about this day, and today all my dreams came true. But is this true happiness? No. Every happiness we have experienced in the world from beginningless time is not true happiness. Even then, very simple people will say, I have found happiness in the world. Small happiness, not the great happiness of God, but I have found happiness, small happiness. It obviously means that these people don't understand what is happiness. Sukh, happiness, bliss. The Vedas gives a definition for the word happiness. Yo vai bhuma tat sukham, bhumaiva sukham, Chandogyopanishad. That which is infinite, immeasurable, eternal, beginningless is called sukha, happiness. Once attained, it is possessed forever. You will never become separate from it ever again. You will never experience sorrow ever again. Have we experienced such a thing in the world? No. Today something is making us happy. The next moment, the next day we become sad. Today somebody has become the owner of a brand new motor car, Lexus motor car. He is so happy. He goes around driving to the friends. Nobody has invited him. Friend, family, everywhere. Oh, he's so happy. And tomorrow, where's the happiness? This was your delusion. What is delusion? We'll understand later on. For now, understand that true happiness, once attained, is possessed forever. You will never experience unhappiness ever again. You will never experience sorrow ever again. The great Saint Tulsidas ji says, Soi sukha lavalesh, barik jin sapane hu lahai, te nahi ganahi khagesh, brahma sukhahi sajjana sumati. The great Saint Tulsidas ji says, if we were to experience the tiniest drop of true happiness, even once, even in dream, then we are sure to forget the bliss of the formless absolute Brahm, that which is experienced by the Gyanis. What to speak of the mundane pleasures of the world? From this, it is obvious we have not attained true happiness, true bliss even once, as we are still attracted by the commonness of worldly pleasures. Now, this search for happiness has been beginningless, eternal. Why? Because we, the individual souls, are also eternal, unborn, beginningless. Gya gyau dva vaja vishan isha vaja Heko bhokti bhogyata yukta anantaschatma vishwarupo hyakarta tayimada vindate brahma me tat. Shvetashvataro Upanishad chapter 1 verse 9. Dva suparna sayuja sakhaya samanam briksham parikasva jate tayoranyah pippalam swadatta nashnan nanyo abhichakashiti. Shvetashvataro Upanishad chapter 4 verse 6. The exact translation of this last Ved mantra I told you is given in Bhagavad Mahapuran, word for word. Suparna vetau sadrishau sakhayau yadchayaytau kritanidau cha vrikshe ekastayo khadati pippalana manyo niranno pibalena bhuyan. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 11 canto, 11th chapter, 6th verse. The essence is that both God, the Supreme Lord, as well as us, the individual soul, are unborn, eternal, and beginningless. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Gita, Sri Krishna says, Na jayate mriyate va kadachinnayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuya ajo nityah shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. Gita, chapter 2, verse 20. God, Shri Krishna says, the Jivatma, the individual soul, who we are, is unborn, never takes birth, nor does it die. Nor having come into existence does it cease to be, because it is unborn, eternal, and most ancient. It is not destroyed, even when the body is destroyed. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyapu, na shoshayati marutaha, achedyo yamadahyoya, makledyo shosha evacha, nitya sarvagatastarura chaloyam sanatana. Gita, chapter 2, verse 23 and 24. The Gita is saying, Shri Krishna is saying, God is saying, the soul, the Atma, cannot be caught by any weapon. It cannot be burned by fire. It cannot be wet by water, nor dried by the wind. It is the same forever. Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirna nanyani sayati navani dehi. Gita, chapter 2, verse 22. God, Shri Krishna is saying, just as a person, after wearing clothes for some time, discards it and puts on others that are new, he discards old clothes and puts on new clothes. In the same way, the embodied soul discards bodies and take on new one. The soul, the Atma, who we are, does not die. We just keep changing clothes. We keep going, changing body. So, we, the soul, Atma, is unborn, eternal, and beginningless. God is not senior to us. Somebody may ask a question, from whence have the soul, you, the soul, the Atma, from whence have you been in existence? The answer would be, I have been in existence ever since there was God. The second question, from whence has God been in existence? God has been in existence from beginningless time, eternal. From whence has both God and the individual soul has been in existence? Even from before time, we have been in existence. Beginningless. God is not senior to us. Have you ever seen a parent in the world? Have you ever seen a parent and the child be in the same age? Impossible. You meet a man and a boy walking on the road. You say, hello, hello, who are you? I am John. And who is this? He is my son. And we are the same age. Who? We are the same age? Impossible. Impossible in the material world. But in the spiritual world, God, who is our eternal parent, the Vedas say, Amritasya vai putraha. Every living being is a child of God. So we, the individual soul, and God, our parent, we have been in existence from beginningless time. And we have been always looking for happiness. Then why have we not found it? Because of ignorance. What is the ignorance? We have forgotten who we are. We have forgotten that we are the soul Atma. From beginningless time, we have identified with the body, the physical body. This body is material. It is made of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. The world we see around us is also made of the same 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. So the subject of the body is the world. The body needs the world. In order for the body to be healthy, to survive, we have to give it all the vitamins, the mineral, the protein, everything it requires in the right amount. Not too much, not too little. So the body needs the world. God has created this world for us to keep the body healthy. We need the body. We cannot exist. We, the soul Atma, cannot exist without this body. And we have to keep it healthy. So God created the world so that we can sustain the body. So the body is material. The body needs the world. So the subject of the body is the world. And because we have identified with the body from beginningless time, we have always been looking for happiness in the material world, where it cannot be found. Now, how did we become ignorant? Why did we forget who we were? Because of something called Maya. There's a power of God called Maya. Many people have heard about this thing, this word Maya. Mostly, people when asked what is Maya, they say Maya is an illusion, an imagination of the mind. It is not real. There was a Jagat Guru, world Guru by the name of Shankaracharya, Adi Jagat Guru Shankaracharya. One of the philosophy he preached was Jagan Mithya, that the world is an imagination of the mind. It is false. He says, just like someone is walking in the dark and there's a piece of rope in the dark and he mistakes it for a snake, in the same way, we have become confused and made the imagination of this world. It's not real. Jagat Guru Shankaracharya is saying. After him came many other Jagat Gurus. Jagat Guru Ramanujacharya, Jagat Guru Nimbarkacharya, Jagat Guru Madhavacharya. They contradicted Shankaracharya and they said the world is real. It is not an imagination of the mind. So what is the reality? What is Maya? And how can we become free from Maya? The Vedas tell us, Tameva viditvati mityumeti nanya pantha vidyate yanaya. Shvetashvataro Upanishad, chapter 3, verse 8. The Vedas are saying, only by knowing God can the Jivatma, the individual soul, become free from Maya. There is no other way. In other words, we have to know God. In order to become free from Maya, that we never have to come back in this world and suffer. That we attain eternal happiness forever. We have to know God. So, what is Maya? Is it real or is it an imagination of the mind? And how can we become free from Maya? How can we know God? These are some big questions coming. We'll get the answer in the following lectures. For now, this is enough for today. Boliye Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki,
Jai.
Srimad Sadguru Sarkar ki,
Jai.
Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.